And hello, everyone. Welcome to another power scanning session. Once again, we are going to look for the swing trading setups for the week ahead. It is February the 8th, 2025, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is Daniel Sinning, and I am greeting you once again from our beautiful office here in downtown Montreal. And before we get into it, let me ask you guys a question. Where are you calling in from? Uh, who do we have here today in our session? And please put your location into the Q&A box. So let's see, who do we have today? All right, let's have a look. Okay, John Ford. Hey, John, how's it going? Keith from the Scottish borders. In Scotland, not in England. All right. Greg. Hey, Greg, how's it going from Idaho? I talked to your brother yesterday. Aubrey from cold Cyprus, yet sunny. All right, awesome. Edda from Hamburg. Hey, Edda. Wie geht's? Gerd from Germany. Hi, Gerd. How's it going? Werner from Frankfurt. Hey, Werner. Chris. Hey, Chris. Northern California. How's it going? Faith from Palm Springs, also California. Nice. Donald from Port Orchard, Washington. Hey, Donald. What's up? Tom from Roseville, California. Wow, lots of Californians here today. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much, guys, for sharing your location. Let's get into it. So, as mentioned, my name is Daniel Sinning. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side, and we are tradingindicators.com, a trading business, a trading software business, I should say, created roughly 10 years ago, and we have accumulated, so to say, an extensive experience in developing, trading indicators. So over the years, we've built almost 1,000 of them for clients all over the world, including the US, of course, Canada, Germany, where I am originally from, and many other places around the world. And this started about 10 years ago here together with Homer. And around halfway through, Nicholas has joined us. Nicholas is in the chat room today looking out for your questions. And Nicholas has become our lead developer for our latest trading indicators. Most of what we do is based on technical analysis, which is basically a mathematical analysis of your price chart. We believe that fundamentals are almost immediately priced in, and by looking at the technicals, you will indirectly take into account this fundamental information as well. We also believe that trading should be simple, and trading is simple, but you need to use the right tools. And one such tool, we believe, is our Liquidity View dashboard. A dashboard which makes it very easy to find interesting setups. And I don't want to spoil anything, but if we look back at the setups that we found last week, we were almost completely perfect. So all but one setup worked out beautifully. So we're going to review these today. And of course, guys, if you have any questions, don't be shy. Please put your questions into the Q&A box. And one last question before I get started. How is my audio and video? Is it coming across clear, or is there some kind of cutting off going on?
No, it's all good, Daniel.
That's all good. Perfect. Because I just had a webinar before this, and there were some issues with the audio quality. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, one more thing. Keep in mind, of course, that trading does contain substantial risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. Okay, so with this out of the way, a couple of housekeeping items. Number one, if you have not joined our Discord channel yet, please do so. It's completely free. The link is here, tradingindicators.com/Discord. It's been so much fun, this new version of the Discord channel. Let me just quickly show you how it looks like. Where is it? There we go. So here we go. That's our Discord channel. And you can see around the clock, we are posting charts, setups. Our members are posting charts and setups. They're asking questions. It's a great interaction throughout. So a lot of fun. Please take advantage of our Discord channel. Also, if you don't know it yet, we also have fully automated trade alerts. You can see it here for the for various time frames. So the 5-minute chart, If I go all the way down to the most recent one, of course, right now there will only be crypto alerts because that's the only market that's open. But yeah, you're going to get all these based on our flagship indicators, in this case, Liquidity IQ, but new indicators will be added soon to these alerts. So please don't miss out. Yeah, it's tradingindicators.com/Discord.
Daniel,
And this
just
link.
on that note, I
Yes.
just wanted to mention because we had a question about the daily alerts. So we're going to be getting that fixed in the coming week. So there's going to be these longer term alerts. And like Daniel said, we're going to be adding in stuff for MA Rush and also probably Volume IQ alerts in the near future.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, please look out for this. So this is going to be fixed. And last week we also had a small glitch, actually not really a glitch, where some of the alerts stopped working. That had to do with TradingView, actually. So they changed their pricing model. So it turned out the alerts that we are sending from TradingView, which is the source for these alerts, was not possible anymore with our current subscription. So we had to upgrade, unfortunately, to a higher plan, which which plan was this, Nicholas? I forgot. Expert, the expert
Expert, yeah.
plan. Yeah. Unfortunately, very expensive plan, but hey, no costs are too much for our members. Okay, so that's that for our Discord channel. So please take advantage of that. Also, we are going to be using today our Liquidity View dashboard to find interesting setups, swing trading setups for the week ahead. If you don't have access yet, I recommend that you get access right now. You're going to be able to get a free trial of our dashboard, a free trial for an entire week, simply by going to tradingindicators.com/view. And you can cancel at any time, no problem. But should you want to stay along, we have interesting monthly and yearly options as well. The real cool thing is that you will get access instantaneously, so right away. And one last thing, then we're going to get into our market review. If you have not downloaded our ebook yet, here's the link, tradingindicators.com/power of 3. And Niklas will paste this link also into the chat box. And in this ebook, you can review the core strategies that we will be using today to identify these very powerful swing trading setups. And I mentioned it before. What we found last week was just a thing of beauty for the most part. All right, so we're gonna get to this in a second. And last thing, if you guys have any suggestions for new features, most of the features right now on the dashboard, they have been driven by user feedback. So please continue sending us your feedback. This is invaluable to improve this dashboard any further. So we have lots of ideas ourselves, but the most important ideas, they will come straight from your feedback. So please don't be shy for that. Alrighty, so let's start with the market review. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to Liquidity View. If it's open, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to clear out all the filters. I'm going to start off, with the basics. SPY, the S&P 500 ETF. Let's make this a little bit bigger. And we can see it's pretty much business as usual in the SPY. Yes, we are struggling a little bit with this resistance zone here around 609. But overall, this uptrend, you can see there, beautiful trend channel, parallel trend channel, is very much intact. And I believe it's just a question of time when this resistance area will be broken, and then it's onwards to new highs in the SPY. So even though we did have, a bit of a pullback on Friday, it was almost expected because this resistance level, it's a strong one. It's a powerful resistance level. Price is struggling to break it, but it's gonna notch on this level step by step, like like having an ice pick in your hand, hitting on on some ice below you. Eventually, it's gonna break and it's gonna take out some pieces. And this resistance level, I think, over time will be weakened and eventually break, and then it's up to new highs afterwards. Okay, so that's the SPY. What about the QQQs? Pretty much the same picture here. The only thing I always say is that, hey, it's just a bit more erratic on the QQQs, meaning that this uptrend that we're clearly in, it's not as clean or technically clean, I would say, because we have these bigger corrections along the way, which can be quite violent. So, price is not going up as smoothly as in the SPY. And the setup also is a bit different here. First off, we had a zone break here. It went up, and then we had the zone break retrace set up. Resistance acting as support at this level here around January 13th. Price went up initially, and now it's struggling at a similar level, but we're not quite even there yet. So actually, price is bouncing off this level just below that. So I think there's still a bit more room to even hit this level. So I think this could be an interesting idea to, potentially contemplate a move towards this level. If we reach it, I would imagine there might be another bounce to the downside. But overall, yes, this is also a strong uptrend in the QQQs. And the Russell, so the Russell also an interesting candidate. It's struggling also at resistance, but at a different resistance level. In this case, it's not the highest one. So SB1QQ, they were approaching the highest resistance level on the chart. The Russell is kind of stuck for, I don't know, 2, 3 weeks now at this very powerful intermediate resistance level here, as shown by our liquidity IQ indicator around the 228 price point. You can see all these candles wicking into this level. Plenty of liquidity captures showing that this is a widely contested level around the 228 area. It remains to be seen if he can break it right away. If not, I may even foresee a move down towards the support zone here around 214 in the Russell. Of course, if we break it to the upside, the next stop will be this top resistance level here on 244. All right, that's the Russell. But let's go to gold. Gold was actually on our watch list last week. I have it here. Let me just show you quickly what we saw last week from February the 1st. Yeah, we said, hey, we just had a zone break in gold. So gold broke above its resistance level, and I predicted with this beautiful arrow here last week, okay, we may see a nice follow through after this broken resistance level with kind of blue skies ahead. And this is exactly what happened. If I click on it, of course, there we go. So gold took off. Here was the zone break, and now we're trading much, much higher than this. Of course, we had a bit of a down day yesterday after making all-time highs earlier. So price was a really big candle. But I see gold still very, very strong, very extended even. So would I get long gold now? Probably not. Well, too far away from our averages. You can see it here. Just maybe take out some of these annotations from the chart so it's a bit easier to see. Just a second. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so we're overextended. Prices here, or newest averages are around the 250 area. So if we see a pullback, perhaps even to this broken resistance level, that could be a great opportunity to enter long into gold. So that was a nice one here. And let's look at oil one more time. All right. So USO, United States Oil Fund. And as I always say, oil has been trapped forever in this sideways. This really wide sideways channel between the 83 and 63 area down here. So resistance on top, support below. Once again, we bounced off resistance a couple of weeks ago, and now it's down to this, intermediate resistance level, which was prior to this broken on December 30th around, now acting as support. So it's going to be interesting to see if we bounce off this level. If we do, so there's some signs that things are slowing down. Maybe we're going to make another attempt at some higher levels. But if we plummet through this level, I think the next stop is going to be down here at 69 at the support zone for oil. But pretty much also business as usual in oil. All right. So with this, let me, just for the fun of it, let's look at last week's hot list. So what did we see last week? And by the way, guys, before I get into this, if you have questions, put them into the Q&A. And if you have symbol requests, please also put those into the Q&A box, please. All right, so let me clear this out. And I'm going to go to our watch list from last week, the 1st of February. Okay, so what did we find here? So the first one, and actually this is the one that we actually also had in our, actually I'm going to start with ATMA. So ATMA is in an interesting setup. It's a zone break retrace setup. Just a second. Oh, actually, it's not. It's off support. Sorry for that. So ATMA came down here to the support level, and we predicted, hey, that's gonna go further up. We are off to a good start. So if you look at the trade notes of ATMA, we're right here. Yeah, at this point here. Now we are trading, a good point, and probably at 5, 6, 7% higher. I estimate that this move will continue further. Into the future. So at least towards the middle, in between the support and resistance level. So that's pretty good. Off to a good start. Now, the highlight was AGX. AGX was also featured in our newsletter on Monday as our trader of the week, and it was just a thing of beauty how this one worked out. Look at this. So we looked at AGX last week. Let me open it up, where it was right at this support level. And look what happened afterwards. What a beautiful, beautiful move I have off this support. A beautiful bounce. Now it's right at this resistance level. So this move was very much predictable. Had we used our built-in targets and stops of Liquidity IQ, we would have told you, hey, my stop is going to be below this support level, and my target is going to be just below this resistance level. This would have been a complete winner in just a couple of days. So a very nice trade. Okay, gold we already had. So the only real loser that we had last week was Google. And Google honestly was more of a gamble. I told you guys, hey, my gut feeling tells me Google earnings going to propel this higher. We just had a zone break. But of course, we were heading into earnings for Google. Earnings came out on Monday night or Tuesday night, I forget when it was. And then we had, of course, disappointing earnings. It went down by a lot. But of course, that was more of a gamble. We would never do a directional trade heading into earnings. Way too risky. Sorry. So yeah, that was the only real loser. Of course, Google did have bad earnings and it went down instead of up. So that didn't go so well. So I'm going to take this arrow off.
Daniel, I don't know if you read it already, but Aubrey just mentioned they're up almost 4% on ADMA, and we'll be able to afford that round of drinks now from last week.
Perfect. Yeah. Absolutely. I also actually took this trade, but I took it with options on Atma, which is also in the profit right now. So yeah, good, great, excellent. I hope nobody took that Google long trade. It was a risky, but I believe I did mention it last week. Hey, earnings are coming up. You can see it here directly in this earnings data column here in our scanner that we had earnings on February the 4th. Yeah, right. Yeah, heading into earnings, and of course, doing a directional trade always very risky. But yeah. So ISRG, you have two more here from last week. This was also very beautiful because here we said, hey, this is a great long break retrace setup in the making. Look at this. We broke above resistance here, came up, and then price came down. And I said, hey, if we actually get to this reddish square here, which is the beginning of the broken resistance level, maybe we're going to see higher levels. And look what happened here on the actual chart. Some of these days they actually get down exactly into our box here with this candle on the on Monday. Yeah, we open up there, and now we're trading much higher. So this was a nice setup as well. And Mueller Industries, what do we see here? Yeah, a bounce off support. This is a clear bounce setup here, which is a nice play for a stock which has been trending up for a long time. And let's see what Mueller did. I think it also worked out quite nicely, unless I'm mistaken. Oops. Is this Mueller? I think maybe Mueller is still pretty much where it was. Yeah. It's still around this area. I think we this one is still very much intact. So we're a bit higher than the support level, but overall also a nice setup, which looks like it's gonna turn out quite as we expected. So yeah, great last week. Let's see if we can replicate this for this week. So our standards, of course, our bar, so to say, has been elevated. Let's see if we can match it as well this week. Because once again, we're going to look at finding some high reward and low risk setups. 1 second. Oh, sorry. I'm very thirsty. This is my second webinar. Yeah, in the last 3 hours. Okay, so a high reward, low risk setup is a setup where the stop loss typically is quite tight and our profit potential outweighs the risk that we have on the trade by a multiple. All right. And our process also, as usual, we're going to focus on one setup at a time. And we're going to have 3 setups. We're going to go through the bounce, the zone break, and the zone break retrace setup. Based on what we see, we're going to create a hot list. And then towards the end, we're going to go through that hot list to see which of those symbols in our hot list are the most promising ones. And we're going to annotate that with our trade notes. All right, so let's get into it. So the first setup is really a combination of what we call a healthy pullback and a bounce setup. So we used to separate these two out, but I found, hey, the most powerful ones are actually the ones where these two come together. So we're going to combine these ones now moving forward. So what's a healthy pullback? Well, for a healthy pullback, you need to have a trend which has been going on for a long time. In this case, it's an uptrend. So a long-term uptrend. Yeah. But like every trend, there are breaks in the trend, yeah, where the price takes a pause and retraces a bit. And if you see these, these retracements in trend, these corrections, you can then enter once price has retraced a bit, ideally towards one of these averages here of MA Rush. This is exactly what we consider a healthy pullback. And one indicator which shows us these healthy pullbacks is our trend radar indicator. You can see it here. It's predominantly green, and most importantly, the last row is green, meaning the long-term trend is up. But the medium-term trends and the short-term trends, they are reddish, meaning they are down. And we consider this a healthy pullback, a correction within a long-term trend. And if this happens, this can be a key opportunity to enter long, especially if this coincides, and this is where the bounce comes in, if this coincides with price being near a key support level, as per our liquidity IQ indicator. Oops, sorry. So you can see it here. Price is near the support level. Support is acting as support, and price bounces off this level. That's where the name comes from, the bounce setup, towards the middle in between support and resistance. So how can we find these, rare situations where we have a healthy pullback, a long-term uptrend, and price being near support level? Well, as you'll see, using our great dashboard, it's actually super, super easy. So you just have to enter these criteria. So criteria number one is we want to have a healthy pullback. Oh, actually, let's start with the other one. We want to have stocks which actually have been trending up instead of down. So this is indicated to us by our MA Rush indicator. You can see it here on the chart. If I make this a bit bigger, it's this indicator. This is hide liquidity IQ. It's this one which casts these candles green, and let me just find a different symbol, which shows you or which prints these labels on the chart, like bullish, bearish, bullish, and so forth. Yeah, so this is our trend detection indicator, MA Rush. So how can we find stocks which are bullish? Well, we're going to go to our MA Rush column here and going to use the filter icon right next to it and select bullish. And once I do this, you'll see that from our 4,884 stocks that we are trading or tracking, only a subset of those will remain. So I click on it. It's instantaneously, we're down to 2,685 stocks. Great. All right. Okay, that's criteria number one. We are bullish. Criteria number two is we want to see a healthy pullback. The best pullbacks, at least in my experience, are pullbacks to level 4, a level 4 pullback, where the first 4 rows of trend radar are red, but the last one is green. All right. So for this, we're going to use our pullback column here. If you don't see this column, make sure it's enabled here in our column configurator. And your scanner is wide enough. You can drag the scanner from left to right to make it wider or smaller. So we're going to use here level 4 pullback. All right. So now we're down to only 275 stocks. Wow, that's a lot. And one last criteria, we also want to be trading near a support level. And this is where our liquidity IQ indicator comes in, the one that draws these resistance and support levels on the chart. So price should be near a support level. So we're going to go here to liquidity IQ and select long bounce, this one here. And once done, you can see, wow, we're only down to 22 stocks. But the good thing is, hey, of these 22 stocks, I promise you, there will be some really nice ones among those. Okay, so 22 stocks out of 4,884. And then what I like to do is I like to sort MA Rush from highest to lowest. Meaning, we're going to focus on the stocks which have been trending up, this is our trend indicator, for the longest time. And the first one that comes in is this one here, Texas Roadhouse Inc. All right, so what do we see here? I already like what I'm seeing. Price is near a support level. It's a stock which has been trending up. You can see this very clearly here. Nice uptrend. We have either seeing a correction, and where's my trend radar indicator? Is it not on the chart? Let me reset this real quick. And trend radar, you can see it here, is in a level 4 pullback. The last 4 rows here are reddish, whereas the first 4 rows are red, whereas the last one is green, meaning the long-term trend is up, but the medium and short-term trends are bearish. And you can see it here clearly, this is a correction. What's really interesting is that just by looking through the stock here, except for this bigger correction here, oftentimes this is as far as the stock will go, to a level 4 correction, not further. You can see it here, okay? So to me, an interesting opportunity for sure to enter into a long trade here, especially since price is right at this support level. So I'm going to add this stock to our watch list. So for this, I'm going to create a new watch list first. Watch list, oops. Create. Setups, colon 2025, 020, what is it? 8. All right, done. I'm going to take a little bit. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to add this stock now to our watch list. Done. Okay, next one. Advanced energy. What do we have here? Yes, kind of similar. Bullish for 540 days. Yes. Definitely a level 4 pullback. And we are trading. Actually, let me do one more thing real quick. Let me change the colors of my background a little bit darker without the lines. It's just easier to see. There we go. All right. So here, yeah, we do trade once again at this support level, and also here, a nice setup. Chances are that we may bounce off this level. The only thing is I don't like too much is that this resistance level is fairly nearby. So maybe a bit too close for my taste. I'm gonna skip this one for now. Miller Energies. All right, so what do we have here? So here, definitely resistance is further away. We can see it here. Yeah, some fairly big swings. No, actually, no, this is pretty consistent. Was just zoomed out a lot. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't like the fact too much that, but you know what? No, actually, that's fine. So this support level is now being approached. I would like to see price. Let me annotate this real quick if I can find my little annotation. So if you get actually into this level here, that would be a great opportunity to enter into this long bounce trade in the expectation that price will continue further to the upside. And the beauty is, look at trend radar here. It only went to level 4 pullbacks throughout. See this here at most. Yeah, for a long time. Look at this. How consistent this is. Oh my God. So the last time we broke this level was actually down here in 2023, early 2023. So yeah, definitely an interesting opportunity for a long trade entry. So I'm going to add this one here as well. Where's it? Miller. There we go, to our watch list. Okay, and perhaps one more. Pentire. This one had earnings coming out recently, last week. Yeah, I guess we traded further down here, but also it's fairly clean setup. Look at this one. Once again, very nice. Except for this bigger dip here, we once went into level 5. We always respected level 4 on trend radar. I like it. So I'm also going to add this one to
Daniel,
our
I
watch
think this is a
list.
good time for a question from Greg.
Go
He
for it.
asks, hey, you seem to like level 4 pullbacks, but how do you
Yeah.
know that it's a pullback, not a reversal?
Because oh well, first of all, we don't know. There's no certainty to know this. What we are doing here is we're just gonna play the stats or the numbers game, so to say. So it's still a fairly shallow pullback, meaning hey, we still have the long-term trend as per trend radar to crack. And just to put things into perspective, the trend information from trend radar is less has less of a look back than MA Rush. So this whole thing here is more of a shorter term trend anyways. So here, we still have the last level to crack, and MA Rush is bullish, which is our longer term trend for 435 trading days. And the trend is your friend. That's one thing. We do have a healthy pullback, and we are near support level. Is there a certainty this is not going to reverse? Of course not. This is why we place our stop fairly nearby. If we are wrong, we're just a little wrong. If we are right, we might be in for a nice, nice treat.
Perfect. Okay. And we have another question from Chris. He says, for Miller Industries, is the volume on that okay to trade? I don't know. Is it a low volume symbol?
Uh, Good question. I don't know. Let's see. Let's look at some other data here. So let's put the No, it's very little. Good point. Yeah. I mean, I have no idea if it's too little to trade outright. Certainly options will be a big challenge for this one. So yeah, this is something to consider. Great point. So I didn't even look at this one yet. This would have been our next step for the when we look through the hot list. Does everything else line up?
Perfect.
But
And
I
then
agree
from,
with you. It's very low, the volume.
yeah, and then from Kevin, Kevin, if you could please elaborate on what you mean. He asked, do you have an adjustable 1 to 2% bull or bear indicator?
Okay, perfect. Thanks for the questions, guys. Anything else?
Oh, that's it. You're good to go.
Okay, sweet. Alrighty, so these are our key setups for the long bounce setup. Now let's move on. Our next setup for today is, so we did the bounce, is the zone break setup. At this point, I like to say, hey, nothing lasts forever. At some point, everything is coming to an end. And for trading, no support zone will last forever. It will eventually be broken. Or no resistance zone will last forever. It eventually will be broken. But if it does, this also creates a new opportunity for us because we can play or we can trade in the direction of the breakout, in the anticipation that there's going to be some follow through. Price is going to continue moving in the direction of the breakout. Once again, a high reward, low risk play because our stop loss will just be above this, broken support level or below this broken resistance level. So how can we find these trades? All right, so once again, back to our dashboard. We're going to clean out all the filters and we're back to our 4,884 symbols. All right, so these zone breaks, you can see them here on the chart. These are shown to us by our liquidity IQ indicator, which is this indicator here on the chart. It's added by default. You can see it here. I enable it. So it's liquidity IQ. So let's also use the liquidity, the LIQ column here. I'm going to click on setup and we will select long break, for example, meaning to find stocks which are currently trading above their highest resistance level. So an example, this one here, YI. I don't know the stock, but YI, also a very low volume stock, but you can see it here. It broke above resistance a while back, exactly 21 bars ago. You can see it here. The 21 is the duration since when this breakout happened. And this can go very extreme. For example, this one here on live cattle futures. Oh, this is an interesting one. Too bad we don't really swing trade futures, but look at this one here. Zone break, price initially went up. Now it's retracing back to the broken zone. And this may become one of our favorite setups, the zone break retrace setup. This could be a great opportunity to enter potentially long into this futures trade here. All right, so you can see this here by the number right next to the label, how long this setup has been in place. But what we want to find are stocks like this here, for example, like AJG, Arthur J. Gallagher and Co. With the zone break just recently happened on Friday, basically happened. Now you see this number 1 here on the most recent bar. So I click on it, and yeah, this is a great stock. I reviewed it earlier. This one just made all-time highs on Friday. That's a very consistently uptrending stock. I really like it a lot. Look how consistent this uptrend is. If you just look at trend radar here, it's very rare we're even going to go into the 4th territory. If we do, then just for 1 or 2 bars. So beautifully long trending stock. And yeah, I think this could be a nice opportunity to enter long into this breakout move. Remember, we just broke above this resistance level. If we do, our stop loss will just be below this broken resistance level. And the expectation is that the stock will move higher towards new historical highs. So definitely going to add this one to our watch list. All right. But now, of course, how can we systematically find these stocks where the breakout just recently happened? Well, what's really cool about this dashboard is that we can simply sort from either highest to lowest. Where the breakout happened a really long time ago. Let's say this one here. SAP, the software company in Germany. Yeah, it broke above resistance a really long time ago. It's been trending up since. That's too late now for us because we want to find stocks where the breakout just recently happened. So we're going to sort from lowest to highest. All right. So we have this now here. And this brings up some really nice candidates. The first one is, in fact, AJG, which we just reviewed. Second one is RSG, Republic Services. And I believe I forget when we actually called this one out. I almost think it was down here. Let me just quickly see if we do have a trade note here. On the 4th of January, what was the setup? Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is exactly this level here. And look how beautifully this was a bounce setup since then. Look how price followed through. Oh my goodness. That's I found this one I noted that we had this before because I had annotated this chart. And the cool thing about the dashboard is that these annotations, they are saved for you forever. So, if the stocks comes out again, yeah, you can see what you did or what you thought about this previously. So this was a beautiful bounce setup. Now it's changed. Now we're trading above the resistance zone here, and also the expectation here could be, hey, this is going to continue higher in the upwards direction. So it's going to add this one here to our hot list. All right. And then perhaps one more. Well, I guess you get the point here, how we can find these setups. The next one is Cardinal Health. Yeah. Also here we broke above resistance, but this one I don't like too much for a couple of reasons. Let me make this a bit bigger. Let me just hide also some of the labels here on the chart. All right, this one off and this one off. It's a nice stock for sure, but we did break above this resistance level prior to this. Like here in January 2025, went up, then completely through this resistance level back to here. Now we're back on the bike again, on the bicycle again, but it's not as clean as I want it to be. So this one is a bit too volatile around this level. Let's skip this one for now. But overall, of course, also a nice stock that yeah, it's been trending up for a long time. And I think we had this one as well. Now, wait, let me just quickly see. On the 11th, limit entry of 118, just out of curiosity. Back then, we didn't have the screenshot tool yet, so we only had these levels. So let me just quickly see what our thinking was. Uh, okay, 11th of November, just real quick. When was that? It's good to spend some. I don't know what happened to my crosshair here. Disappeared. Maybe I'm just gonna reload this. 1 second, guys. Hang on. My crosshair disappeared. I want to see what was the exact time there. Cardinal Energy. Okay, on the 11th. Oh, God. It's a bit slow. 1 second. There we go. Okay, that was a long trade off another zone break trade we did here. Okay, it worked out nicely initially. We came back to this level and then it really took off. But also this one here would have been a nice zone break trade on the 11th. So now we're kind of in a similar situation, but I'm going to skip this one for now. Niklas, any questions at this point?
Yeah, Daniel. So I just want to follow up on Kevin's indicator question. Basically, he was asking, is there a column or some indication we can check to see what was the price change? And he specified pre-market. So I know we don't have a pre-market column, but do we have like a price delta?
We do have a price delta in here, which is basically the delta of the current day. So if you go here to your price or your column configurator, 1D percent change, actually, you can see it here. Hey, price change 2% or negative 2%, positive 3%, and so forth. And of course, you can also sort these, yeah, in terms of from highest to lowest. So this one would be one that, oh, this is too low for me. Maybe this one here, like a big down bar, for example, on that date, or to the highest level. So I'm gonna skip. Let me just make this price a bit bigger here. So this one here, Sandra's Energy, probably a big up bar. Can't see it here. So that can be done already in the dashboard.
Perfect. Okay. And then from Moshe, did we look at a symbol HRL already?
Not today, no.
Okay, so this is kind of like a symbol request. Moshe later wanted to see what we think's happening at the liquidity IQ long stop, and is it tradable if it comes back up? So I guess
Okay,
the long stop would probably be a little bit below that support level.
that's right. So here, could be a bounce setup. It's let me just quickly see. 1 second. Just take some of these columns out. Maybe the earnings day too. Okay, that's a very bearish stock, so I probably would not go long this stock at all. Even though, you know, this level has been tested a few times with a beautiful follow through, a beautiful bounce to the upside. I just don't like the fact that this is a very bearish stock. I think eventually, it's like using a nice pick on the ice is going to be broken to the downside. So to me, it's a bit too risky. But if you were to trade this to the upside for the bounce, you can just simply enable the targets and stops for the long direction. So here, show target long, show stop long. I click OK, and then you can see it's here. That my stop would be here by 28.47, and my target around 32.55. Just you can see it here just by hovering over this little box here. Yeah, where the targets would be, and also what your reward to risk ratio would be of 4.58, which is pretty good, of course. So
Per-
perhaps worth a speculative trade.
Perfect. Okay. And then the simple request, Hubert, we're going to get to that
Yeah,
later at the end.
perfect. Okay, but we have one more setup I want to go through. Back to the slides real quick, which is our zone break retrace setup, the rarest of all awesome setups. And this one happens when we do have a break above resistance, let's say. Price initially follows through, but then corrects itself, retraces back to the broken resistance level, which is now acting as support. So here roles switched from resistance to support, and oftentimes when this happens, price will really take off afterwards in the original direction or in the direction of the original breakout. And I like it because this initial fake out of the market is already done. So the market already tried to fake us out, and then we're going to continue to the upside direction. So if you want to find this one, once again, we're going to go to our Liquidity IQ setup column here, and we choose long break retrace. And you'll see once I pick this, almost all symbols will be eliminated from our scanner. So let me just do this. Long break retrace, and only of our 4,884 stocks, only 7 of them have survived. Wow. That's pretty cool. That's very selective. Okay, so let's look through them. I'm gonna sort them also from ME Rush highest to lowest. So we focus on the ones which have been trending up for the longest time first. So PAA, Plains All American Pipeline. All right, and I think we had this one last week. Oh, this was I think today. Yeah. So here, oh no, this was last week. This was last week. We said, hey, if price comes down to this level, I believe we had this one. Then we consider an entry. And I think this now just exactly happened. So here, I think this was last week here, this bar, or maybe this one, wherever it was, it doesn't matter. We now came down to the exact level where we wanted to enter. And price is actually right in there. This is beautiful. So yeah, definitely gonna consider this one as a long trade here, especially since also this stock has been trending up for a long time. It's been a bit sideways, but this sideways consolidation, which oftentimes happen after a strong move up, you can see price moved up very strongly prior to this. Yeah. Then we consolidated quite a while, and then we had the breakout and now the retrace. And I think this could be a nice sign that, hey, after this initial fake out, we're now going to see a further move higher up. So let me just maybe put a little arrow here. Where was this arrow? Ah, 1 second. Last time had a beautiful arrow. Maybe it's not here anymore. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so I think price is gonna move up towards the bullish side in the near future. So I'm gonna add this one to our list. Okay, Plains GP Holdings. What was that? Oh, no trade too volatile. Okay, let's have a look. That was on oops, in November. But now once again we broke above this resistance level. And we initially go up and we're back in here. And also here I would think, hey, if we come down to this level here, yeah, this could be a nice long entry. We're not there right now. So here I would wait until the price actually comes to this level, and then I would consider a long entry of this stock. So here I'm gonna put this on the sidelines for now. Okay. Arc Rock Inc. Yeah, very similar. Bullish for 498 trading days. Also here I would wait until price comes to this level here. But definitely also an interesting stock. Also very bullish. Look at this one here. Very, very bullish over the last couple of years. So I kind of like this one too. I like both of them. Let me just quickly look at the PAJP as well. Here we're too far away, but this one here, I'm going to add this to our list so here we're a bit closer to that level. Perfect. And perhaps one more, Hess Midstream Partners LP. Yeah, similar thing. We're too far off. So here, once again, I'd like to see price to come down to, a bit closer to this level here before we consider a long entry. All right. Any questions so far for our long break retrace setup?
No, we do have a question. Let me just review here, Dennis, so we can get through them. Aubrey just mentions he took, sorry, the CAH trade that you mentioned, I think a couple weeks ago, or maybe not, on November 12th at 117.5 and got out at 125 for 6.3% on the 30th of January. So congratulations.
Excellent.
Another nice trade. And Kevin says, do you have a stock options filter with adjustable price min and max? So I'm not sure what you mean. We do have the ability to see is a stock optionable and then set the price limit for the stock price.
Yeah, we have this, and we also can put a price window here. So it's you only want to see stocks which are between, $25 or above 25 and maybe less than 100. If you want to use something like this to find stocks which have affordable options. And then you can also add another column here called optionable, which checks whether this stock actually has an options chain and this options chain is reasonably liquid.
Perfect. And then
Yeah.
Aubrey, again, he says, as an observation, I believe that LPs, so LPs, Daniel, can you clarify for me what that is? LPs?
Limited partnerships or
Limited
something.
partnerships have tax issues for non-USA investors who buy the equity of the limited partnership.
Okay. All right, but that's more, I guess, a legal question than anything else. But thanks, Aubrey, for pointing this out. Okay,
And that's it.
perfect. All right, great. Okay, so let's review what we have found so far. So I'm going to open up our watch list. There we go. And we have 7 stocks in this watch list. Let's start with our long bounce ones first. We're going to go through these one by one. So Texas Roadhouse Inc. Yes, let's have a look here. Okay, of course, a long bounce setup. The stock has been trending up for 622 trading days. Level 4 pullback. I like it. Here, the biggest correction was here. But yeah, it could be a nice speculative trade, especially since we are right in this support level. So yeah, I'm going to add this one as a potential long trade to our list. So I'm going to add this trade note here. Can click on this note item icon here. If you don't see the notes icon, by the way, if you go up here to your settings, make sure that trading notes are available or enabled, I should say. Okay, so click on this. All right. And you can also dictate your notes, by the way, in German and in English. In case you are one of our German viewers, you first have to change the language to German. Then you can dictate your notes in German as well. Okay. Anyways, back to the symbol. Okay, and I'm just gonna add the screenshot here. That's typically enough for me to know what we were thinking back in the day. So it has a timestamp here, February the 8th, and this is the situation of exactly the chart right now. And it's gonna stay like this. So this is not gonna update when new price comes in, because this is a snapshot in history, allowing us to go back in history to review some of the setups that we took yeah, early on this year. So I'm gonna close it. Next one, PNR, Pentair Inc. Yeah, so this one here, yeah, also a nice one. I like it a lot. I think this is also a good candidate for a long entry. We had this beautiful correction here, and I will also add this one to our hot list. So very nice. We're right at the support level. At level 4 pullback, long-term uptrend. So same thing here. We're gonna add this one. Okay, done. Close. Okay. MLR, Miller Industries. Yeah, here, I don't know who pointed it out. I agree. The trading volume is not big enough. 86,000 shares traded. It's too illiquid. We're going to stay away from this. And perhaps next time we're going to put on a volume filter from the get-go to only trade stocks where the volume is above a certain threshold. So this one we're going to skip. Okay, up to our next setup. Let's do the long break retrace. AROC Inc. Yes, I like it. Also this one, yeah, very nicely uptrending stock. We're just here at this level. We already had a bit of a retrace. You can see it here. Price went up. We retraced already here. Now back up, back down here. And yeah, this can happen multiple times. So I think that's an interesting opportunity if we actually get to this level. So I want to actually get to this price level here. If we see a bit of a retracement on Monday or Tuesday towards 27.42 or so, this could be an interesting high reward, low risk, long entry. So I'm also going to add this one to our list. Okay. Done. And you can see, by the way, guys, the annotations that we put here, they are also capped in your trade notes, which is really cool. Any annotation. So even if you write some labels there or put some FIP levels or whatever you want to do, these are kept in the screenshot. All right. So another one, zone break retrace. Yes, this one here. Bullish for 916 trading days. It is quite volatile. I wish these swings would not be so violent. Uh, but of course, this was a sideways consolidation. If we assume that the sideways consolidation is over, it's done, it's completed, and we're seeing another leg higher up, I think this can be a great opportunity to also enter long. But of course, the assumption here is that we're not going to go back into the sideways channel. So I really want the stock to stay above this level here. If we do, uh, this could be a nice long entry opportunity. So I'm going to add also this one to our hot list. Okay, done. Okay, and two more. Yes, and this I really like this one. Arthur Gallagher and Co. Yeah, beautiful setup, a zone break above resistance. It's a really long-term trending stock of 1,169 trading days. Uh, nice stock. So yeah, for sure. This one I think is primed for new highs. It looks really, really bullish to me. So also going to add this one. Oh, by the way, if you already have a trade note in here, of course you don't want to you don't want to overwrite the note from December 14. So what you want to do is you want to click on the plus sign here, which adds a new trade note with today's timestamp, and you're going to add whatever you want to put here. All right, done. And one more, RSG. Yes. I mean, of course, this one also beautiful uptrending stock, long-term uptrend, trend channel. So I'm going to also, yeah, add this one to our long list. We're breaking above resistance here. I think we're going to see another lag higher up, yeah, towards new highs. So also this one is a great candidate. So I'm going to add a new trade note with today's timestamp and the screenshot of today. Perfect. All right, great selection today. I'm quite hopeful. Of course, typically when I have a hopeful feeling, things don't work out so nicely. We'll see what's going to happen. But I think the setups are all technically very clean. And let's see what happens next week. All right. Any questions?
David asks, if the sector is weak, are you still going to initiate a trade against, I guess, in the direction that's against the weakness? So if the sector is weak to the downside, are you really going to go long just because it's a scan results candidate?
That's a good question. So we did not consider this at all in our scan here, but I think this could be a bit of a yellow flag. If the sector is weak, maybe you don't want to go against the weak sector. So if the sector is trending down for a long time, perhaps it will drag down its ingredients, its components as well. So that would be a warning sign for me. And that's a great point. So I think um, having some sector information. And by the way, guys, the beta version of our beautiful dashboard. One second. Oh, trading view, trading indicators. One second. We have time for this. There we go. So that's the beta version, requires you to relog in. In fact, the account of the beta version is different from the regular one. This is our preview of what is going to be released soon. All right. So here in this version, we do have sector information. So you know actually which sector this stock is playing in. And I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have make this clickable. So you can click on the sector and it will actually show you the sector ETF. So you can see, hey, what is the sector ETF? Or maybe even overlay it somehow onto the chart. So that could be a great new feature to have. Great point. Who was it? I forgot. George? No. Whoever that said that recommended that feature. It's a great idea.
Perfect. Okay, and then from Kevin, and I hope I understood this message well, but he says John Seville's analysis showed that indices are at a fulcrum point, so kind of like an important moment of either continuing up or reversal. So Monday is a critical day that could set the trend for the week,
Yeah.
or the end of the open range for February 21st, which is the monthly options, I guess, closing date.
Yep.
So yeah, saying that markets are at an important pivot point.
I agree. Yeah, they're right at this, especially the SPYs and also the Russell right in this resistance zone. So we'll see if you see another bounce off these levels, or if we break it, might be blue skies ahead afterwards. But yeah, it's definitely a pivotal point in the markets.
Perfect. Okay, and then Robert says, I notice you're not showing volume IQ here.
That's because it's not implemented yet. This is our dashboard. So volume queue is fairly new. we will add volume IQ late, probably to this dashboard, but it's going to take a while. That's, as you know, a very complex indicator. Whereas it's just quickly go to trading view. Yeah, volume IQ, of course, our brand new shiny indicator for trading view, Ninja Trader and Motive Wave now. And if you add it on here, just real quick, so everybody knows what we're talking about, it's our beautiful volume profile indicator. There we go. So this one here, where you can see things like where's my zone of control, where are my buy zones, what's my overall bias, what is the volume traded, what are my bias blocks. And yes, we will see if we can add this one to the dashboard. That's going to be a longer term project for us.
Perfect. Okay. And then Aubrey just says that he's looking forward to the sector info and maybe a good idea for another column or just color coding when you get these sector columns involved is to show if they're bullish, neutral, or bearish.
Yeah.
Like maybe what's the MA
Yeah.
rush across the whole sector or something like that.
Good idea. Good
And
idea.
then this anonymous poster says the beta version of the profile, the beta liquidity view, seemed to require a new paywall for them.
Oh, this should not be the case. So if you can log into the regular dashboard, Liquidity View, you should be able to log into the beta. If you cannot, send me a quick note and I'll see what's going on with your account.
Perfect. Okay. And by quick note, Daniel means to send him an email, and you can
Yeah.
reach us at info@tradingindicators.com. And then Rob says, I'm subscribed to the VIP Discord. How is this different from the new public Discord?
Oh, the VIP Discord has basically is moderated by Rick Stipe. He has his live trading webinars, his pre-made strategies and all these things in this Discord, and also, of course, all the member services that he provides. Sorry, this one here. This one is a public dashboard. It's available to yeah everyone, and it's limited in some sense. There's a discussion forum and it has some automated alerts. So the VIP definitely has some extra perks, and you get the VIP attention of Rick Stipe, the moderator there.
Perfect. Okay. And then Moshe wants to ask, what's the link to the beta dashboard?
Yeah, we can paste the Nicholas. Maybe we can put this link into the chat. It's beta.view.tradingindicators.com. You can see it here.
Perfect. Okay. You're all good to
Yeah.
go, Daniel.
Perfect. Okay, well, okay. So let me quickly go back to my slides. So I think we did find some really interesting setups. Two quick reminders: if you have not downloaded our ebook yet, here's the link: tradingindicators.com/power of three. And of course, if you want to give our brand new dashboard a try, not brand new, but our ever improving dashboard, I should say, which can find these beautiful setups, go to tradingindicators.com/view, get a 4-week try, no contract whatsoever. Yeah, there's no binding. So even if the monthly or yearly options are, that's you can cancel at any time. And yeah, give it a try. And of course, our Discord, tradingindicators.com/Discord. This link is also in the chat. Now I'm going to open it up for questions, but just one quick thing. Just going to put it out there. If there was a question which we've overlooked, you can always reach out to us via our homepage, tradingindicators.com. Go to the main menu, click on the contact form, and yeah, click there, put your question there, and this will go straight to my inbox, and I will make sure to get back to all your questions as soon as possible. All right. So, do we have any questions, Nicholas, that came along?
Yeah. Okay. So one question here, and Daniel, you're muted, just so you know, you kind of cut off there for a second. But one question from Paul
I was just
is, hey,
coughing.
the RUT index isn't showing for volume IQ. So the reason for that, Paul, I checked, is that instrument RUT does not have any volume data available on TradingView. So there's no volume available. The volume profile cannot be calculated. From Chris, reminder for the beta version, you guys said we need to create a separate login.
Yes, that's correct. So for the beta version, what you need to do is, so I'm going to log out here. This is the beta version. Because the accounts are completely separate. So please keep this in mind too, because if you create watch lists or annotations on the beta version, these will not be visible on the production version. So this beta one is just to try it out, to see what's coming up. But yeah, the account is completely separate. So what you need to do is to create an account here via this button first. And once you have the account created, you will you'll be able to log in.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you for the reminder, Chris. And then David says, which platform would you say works best with all of your main indicators?
Oh, that's a really good question. It's in the end really a question of taste. So we use TradingView a lot for our trading because but it's mainly a convenience factor. So it's all web-based. It's right here. We don't have to have this, you have to open up the desktop app. You can check it on our phone and so forth. Mainly for convenience because, we are trading indicators. We're doing software development. We cannot observe the charts all the time. And I believe many of you will be in a similar situation. So TradingView gives you a lot of quality of life features like offline alerts. You're going to be alerted by push notification and so forth. So that's what we use just because it's convenient for us. But also NinjaTrader and Wave are two very powerful platforms in their own regard. So for Wave, you got a very powerful scanner. You got a great strategy builder. Same for NinjaTrader. So, there are pros and cons. But I think it's these three platforms. So TradingView, NinjaTrader, and Wave.
Perfect. Okay. And then that's from David. And then anonymous user says, wow, what a program. Thanks. Glad you like it. Thank you for the feedback. And from Robert, he says, earnings. When will the beta go to production?
Oh,
So I think he's asking when's the beta stuff going to become the real dashboard?
yeah, I would say another week. We're just gonna test. So the reason why it's not and why we actually did this beta thing now is because we have rewritten our entire backend system for the dashboard, which eventually will allow us to add way more symbols to the scanner. So we're trying to you know, scan through up to 8,000 symbols. This required a whole rewrite. So we went into beta just so we have we can test it internally, but also you guys can test it and give us feedback to make sure that the backend engine is as stable as you want it to be. So I'd say one more week potentially, and then it's going to go into production. It's looking pretty good.
Perfect. Okay. And now, Daniel, it's just symbol requests.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. So from Hubert, Google and Apple.
Yeah. Google we already had originally, but let me just quickly have a look. So yeah, Google had bad earnings. You can see it here. And it is definitely very bullish still, and this doesn't change. So trend radar merely a level 3 pullback. The uptrend, of course, is there, but I would not be surprised to see perhaps this correction to continue a bit deeper. There's a distinct chance, especially since there's a lot of room to the support level here, which is very far off at 166. I mean, I would wait for now. I would not even go long because we'll trade right against this resistance level. So a bit too risky for me. If we get down here, it would be an amazing opportunity to go long Google. It may not happen, but if we do, yeah, great long. If we go back above this resistance level, I think this is also good long at that point. But right now, since we're so close to resistance and there's so much room to the support level, I would stay on the sidelines.
Perfect. Okay. And then there was Apple.
Yeah. Apple was one of our great bounce trades. We called out this trade here in our trade alerts at some point. It went up, and then we had this big gap here. I'm not sure what happened here, but something happened. And now we're trading in between support and resistance. So kind of a similar picture to Google. If we get back down to the support level, could be another great long opportunity. If you go above this resistance level, also long. But right now, somewhat in no man's land. So I would stay on the sidelines too here.
Cool. Okay. Sorry for the delay, Daniel. The next one was Bitcoin from Chris,
Yeah,
saying that
Bitcoin.
there's a lot of volatility this week.
Yeah, Bitcoin is cheap. Yeah, it could be. I mean, cheapish. That's in the sideways channel. It seems to me almost that we are in this big parabolic move up in Bitcoin, and now we're kind of sideways. We're correcting. Uh, some people say, hey, the correction may be as deep as this level here, or even down here to this broken zone to the 73,000 area. Could be. It's all possible. I mean, some people say that uh, after halving, so after once they changed the calculation for Bitcoin to make it twice as difficult, they call this halving. Uh, Typically within 18 months, 1.5 years, the Bitcoin price will triple. So the halving happened, I forget when it was, around the 50,000 area, I think somewhere here. So triple would be 150,000 of that said by June this year. So who knows what's going to happen right now? To me, kind of sideways, Bitcoin. Even though bullish, but kind of in between support and resistance.
Yeah, it'd definitely be nice to capture definitely a high reward to risk setup if we get long bounces like with the liquidity capture.
Yeah,
And the next symbol is AT&T.
yeah,
So T.
yeah. There we go. AT&T. Oh yeah, also all-time highs, I believe. Let's have a quick look here. Yeah, nice uptrend. We survived this correction here. Now we're back on the bicycle. Went up here, corrected below this resistance level, which is not as clean as I hoped for. Now back up again, but certainly within the, I guess within the wiggle room still. So yeah, it could be an interesting long. If you go long, put your stop real tight by. Our indicator shows here around 23.55. Target could be around 26, somewhere around this. So yeah, nice one. Could be an interesting long since we broke now above this resistance level.
Yep. And yeah, using that resistance zone as a stop or that simulated stop. And then the next one is SMCI.
Oh yeah, microcomputers, SMCI. All right. Okay. So yeah, so here we, yeah, we're both bearish. Sorry if I spared me rush. So here we're bearish, trending down. I'd love price to come up to this level here and perhaps potentially short this one. Once again, now in no man's land somehow. So it's not so interesting. Trading typically is more interesting if you're near the extremes, near a resistance level or near a support level. I would wait. So if you get up here, potentially a short, I have a great reward to risk ratio. If you go down here, maybe even a long. If you want to go against the trend, this could be a bit more speculative. But yeah, both things are possible. But right now, I would wait.
Perfect. Okay. And then the next one is BYON.
Eh,
I think it's a symbol request. Yeah.
beyond, yeah. Very bearish stock for 767 trading days, but approaching this resistance level. And yeah, this could be potentially another short here. If you get a bit higher, what's this level here? Maybe a short for sure. Yeah, interesting one.
Perfect.
But yeah,
And
I would wait until it goes into this level. Yeah,
yep. And the next symbol is KTOS.
right. KTOS. Kratos defense. All right, yeah. Bullish for 334 trading days. We broke above resistance. When was that? On second, on the 30th of January. Yeah, I'd love this stock to pull back a little bit to this broken level. If it comes at least to this first line here, I would consider a long in this stock. Yeah, it's a nice clean uptrend. Mhm.
Perfect. Okay. Um, STRL.
STRL, Sterling and Construction. Look at this one. That could have been a great bounce. I wonder if this was on our radar at some point. Trending up for 569 trading days. Zone break, retrace back to this level, now acting as support. Yeah, good one. Long trade. Potentially a long entry here. I like it.
Yeah,
Stop was just below this.
that's a
Yeah,
rare one. And it's also MA Rush for almost 600 bars bullish.
yeah.
So that's from Rob, those two symbols, KTOS and STRL. The next question was, can you provide a link for your training videos? Do we have a boot camp for the dashboard, Daniel?
We do, yeah. Send me a message. I'll send it out. Whoever sent that question. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so send Daniel an email at info@trading indicators. And Aubrey says, can you have a look at TDOC, TDOC? Uh, he saw a gold long super signal on Friday on a different platform.
Yeah.
And it's a potential takeover target by Amazon causing the move up. It's still
Uh,
quite cheap, and there's a lot of short interest, so a lot of people are still short.
yeah, I'm not surprising. Look at this. It's 899 trading days in a downtrend, very consistently going down. Now we broke or we right in this resistance level. I mean, would I go long here? Maybe in a very speculative way with a small position size. If they get taken over by Amazon, of course, the price is probably gonna jump up. But yeah, potentially very speculative, but yeah.
Yeah, cool setup, especially because it's breaking a psychological level, right? $10. So
Yep.
sometimes you see those ones quickly double or something like that, or go up 50%. I remember a stock we saw do that a lot of times was Sunrun, the symbol RUN. And the next symbol request is BEP. And at the same time, we have a question from Robert. In TradingView, can we add additional indicators to the charts, or is the chart locked and we need to make another window? So no, in the chart here on the dashboard, it's powered by TradingView charts. You can add other indicators, the built-in ones from TradingView. And you can also turn off the ones that we have applied, Liquidity, IQ, MA Rush, and Trend Radar. And if you're talking about just normal TradingView, definitely not. You can do anything that your plan or subscription allows there.
Yeah, exactly. So don't be shy playing around with this chart here. Even if you mess things up, say, hey, I want to do this and I'll put this indicator and whatever, this and this and this. And then, it looks very strange and different. You can always reset it with this button here. So you don't have to worry about messing anything up. Reset it and you're back to where you left off.
Cool.
Okay,
Thanks, Dan.
so BEP, it just went bearish 30 trading days ago. Yeah, we hit the support level. Now we're at this support level just above it, kind of in this range. Yeah, but maybe an interesting short if this one holds and price goes below it again. I probably would not engage otherwise. Maybe a short one towards this level. Very speculative. If we get above it, maybe we can approach this level up here. But right now, it's kind of we have to see what happens on Monday.
Perfect. Okay, and we have two last
Yeah,
symbol, unless you could take three here. We have one last one from Moshe. The next one is Intel.
yeah. Intel struggling right at this support level here. We bounced off a few times off this support one-on-one. Once again, if this happens over and over again, chances are eventually it will be weakened enough and it breaks. If we do, we have the abyss below. We see another leg lower. Not sure how much lower Intel can go. It's a huge company, of course, of big government contracts and facilities all over the world. So to some degree, too big to fail. But yeah, from a technical point of view, and once again, we are based. What we do is technical analysis. Even something called too big to fail is not something I really want to consider in my analysis too much because from a technical point of view, it's very bearish, and we've been notching on the support zone. If you go below, we have to see the abyss and even lower price levels.
Yep. And another good point there is, you're saying you don't want to consider using that kind of logical thinking or
Yeah.
fundamental thinking. And there's a good quote, which is the market can stay irrational longer
Mm.
than you can stay solvent. So even though you might be wrong, right in the long term that it's too big to fail, it might go down to $5 a share and you lose all your money.
Yeah, and a good example of this, I don't know if you guys, I mean, you may not have heard, but I did, of course, me being German, the German economy has been in the tank for forever now, for years. Bad politics and, bad news all day long. But this is the German stock index. It's been going up forever, non-stop, faster than the S&P 500. It doesn't make any sense at all, at least to me. Uh, Probably it does make sense if you have the insights of what really is going on behind the scenes, but this is why, for me, technical analysis is the way to go because you will abstract all these seemingly logical things that what may drive price, but in the end it doesn't because markets have their own rules, kind of thing. And technical analysis is, I believe, one system which rarely fails when it comes to analyzing the markets.
Perfect. Okay. And then John says, yeah, WorldCom and Nortel, and I guess Enron too, were too big to fail. That didn't work out.
Yeah,
And the next symbol request, we have two last symbol requests
yeah,
here.
too.
And the first one is, I think it's a symbol request, CEG. Well,
Yeah,
Barry wrote CEG.
Constellation. Yeah, it's Constellation. This one also has been on our books. I remember we had this in our trade of the week at some point. I forget what the trade was, but yeah, it's a fairly new symbol. That's why Emi Rush has no reading, I believe. Definitely an uptrend. Yeah, it started here in 2023. We just recently broke above this key resistance level up there. Now retraced back here. The reason why we have so many arrows here is because we went below again and now up. Not the cleanest zone break retrace. I don't like that it went actually below. So I mean, you can play the long-term trend. Perhaps wait for a bit of a pullback, maybe a level 3 pullback, ideally towards this level, and then enter long CEG.
Perfect. And the next one is from Moshe BP.
Yeah. All right, BP. Okay, bearish for 103 trading days, no particular setup. Some of these rare cases where support and resistance are almost at the same level. If you get to this level here, I think this could be a really powerful level to consider around the 33 area for a short. Yeah, but definitely a bearish bias here for BP.
Thanks,
All right.
Daniel. Okay, and then we're done with the symbol requests. We
Yeah.
just have a couple easy questions to answer here. So from Chris, he says, good email from you guys yesterday on that exact point. I think that was math beats the something, I forget, but we were talking about
Oh,
how the
yeah.
trends and
And the did you
technicals.
know? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Thanks, Chris.
And Robert says, can you explain what the R score is?
Yeah, so the R score is related to trend radar. The first, yeah, that's what you need to know. It's based on this indicator here. And let me just put this in here. All right. We don't use it a lot these days, but I think there's still utility in considering it. Let me just quickly. Uh, okay, here, this one here. So basically, it analyzes the last 50 columns of trend radar. So it goes 50 bars back. Okay. Sorry. You can also actually also see it here. So the R score is also displayed below the price chart and in your scanner here. So in this case, the R score is 86, positive 86. That's why it's green. So if you look at the last 50 bars, you can see roughly, hey, there's more green than red. And there's different weightings as well. So the further things are away in this 50 bars, the less is the weight. Also, the longer term the trend is, the higher the weight is. So there's some weighting involved. But as a rule of thumb, the higher this number is, so if I just go to a really high number, so maybe above 400, the more bullish this stock is for the last 50 bars. You can see here SAP, wow, so all green, is super high R score. If you go back to the mid range somehow, I don't know, something like this here in the 200s, you see, hey, it's well, that's not a good example. This one here, yeah, it's somewhat bullish, but not as straight up as SAP and not as consistent. Then, of course, if you go to the reds, something like this, something super, super bearish. See, all down. So that's what you can get from this R score. But just keep in mind, this considers the last 50 bars, give or take, that happened.
Perfect. Okay. And then from David, do long bounce plays not work as well because of all the overhead resistance as the stock fell to support zone? So I think a good way to answer this would be, when is a long bounce play? When is it a better long bounce play than a worse one?
Yeah, I always like to have the resistance zone fairly far away. So if they're too tight together, and today we eliminated, I think, one trade where we had a long bounce, but resistance on top was too nearby. So there was not enough room. But if there's enough room, hey, these can be still a very interesting trade. So if you go to last week's symbol here to AGX, that was a long bounce trade. It was a beautiful trade. We bounced off this level, and you put just your stop loss just at this point. This is fairly far away. This is 30 points or 25 points. You can make a decent profit off these moves. Yeah.
Okay, Daniel, that's it for all the questions.
Great. Wow. Thanks, guys, so much. My voice is escaping me. This is my second webinar. I also have a bit of a cold today. Nothing bad, of course. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me just quickly go back one time to my slides. So if you missed any questions, just send me a note via tradingindicators.com. And with that, a couple of announcements for next week. Watch out if you're on our options alerts. The alerts will come out tomorrow. Lunch and Learn on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I will be with David Kosmeter once again for a half an hour trading session with him. Look out for the invite there. On Thursday at, I think, 6 p.m., maybe, yeah, around this time, I will give a presentation with WH Self Invest in German. And then, of course, we have our bootcamp too, Nicholas, for Volume IQ for Monofwave on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, I'm already getting tired by learning all these webinars. But I'm kidding. Now, of course, it's always super much fun. So thank you guys so much. And then, of course, next Saturday for another power scanning session for the best best setups for the week ahead. All right, guys. With this, thanks, Nicholas, so much for being here for the questions. And yeah, happy trading, everyone. Bye bye.